If I'm with them, on a good evening. I hope say any side usa una fen una safe na the wall. I hope so una they do well. I hope say life they treat una well. Any side again wanna happen for fen una safe if na morning term, afternoon term, next term, because I know for say some of una can sit down really late, 4-5 in the morning, and they wait for make a come on. I appreciate it always, and I do not take this for granted. We are all doing it for the one country that we call Mama Salone. Well, today, like when I all don't see, I get with me no less a person than Honorable Dr. Kandeh Yumkela, where now the leader of the NGC party in a parliament and also the leader of the NGC party. We all know for say he been run for the highest office of the land at the last election. But then with running with the highest office of the land, he play him too. So he say, if I get me plan A and I get me plan B. Now we go get for don't talk about both the plan A and we get for talk about the plan B. But mostly waiting we sit down and also for talk today. We sit down and also for talk today about something where he can go na parliament, where he ask parliament say, but listen, we been don't tell them people they also say we want for make them give we chance for make we watch over them and do thing for them. We all been don't talk something. We all been don't talk say when we can have power, we go make sure say the one them and we not sit down inside this country, we don't go na other country. For whatever reason it may be, then self na Sierra Leonean, then self need for able exercise the one right where every Sierra Leonean gets, that is the voting right, for exercise their rights, choose who that they want for vote for, choose who that be part of the process, the part of the democratic process. And one thing we also know is that this no left only na them party then they and the ruling party where they have power, where we know as SLPP, we also know say that ruling party they self being said anything and they, but it don't 3 years. It don't 3 years and 4 years they go so kele. And before we mara na other election get for come. The other thing where they look at say the woman them. Now no for say woman them we boku na that country dey. It's a matter of fact, I think say we can to in terms of population side. I think say the woman them pass the mandate inside Salone. He say why make we not go open the democratic space for make sure say at least at minimum the 30% quota is guaranteed. Now no for say that 30% quota business then a thing way. For as far as I remember, I think say for the past 15 years, they don't dump on this 30% quota business. Remember the 50-50, that was one of their strong campaigning, you know. As a matter of fact, that 30% quota, they me also draw me for do an internship with the 50-50 group when I was doing my master's. You know, go Salone, do a whole whatever internship with them, explore that building, you know, look at what and do with the 3 Gender Act, look at the sensitization campaign, look at what they want for do with the 30% quota, how they campaign aggressively, lobbied aggressively. We go get into that day. The other thing back where they talk about now, inside the Salone electoral laws, I believe they say, you need for resign 1 year if you want for one for political office. What thing they say is that 12 months boku. Why make the person or the people that were interested not go resign 6 months before election and then they can put their candidacy for office? But I know for say what can they talk then kind talk here so right now all man don't hang say Matilda they talk show we make we know for say they are so force. Okay, at the show now. So now no for say they are so. Dr. Yumkela tell family they are do.
Famole on Akusho, glad for joining us today. Although we 11 o'clock now, I mean, the driver Bell Matilda said, I do 1 hour, and I say, no, you do with me the whole night. So,
yes. Indeed. It's right for Bell, me say 1 hour. I say, no. I know me show. I know the length of time we can take for going sightseeing then. And I go be wrong, do wrong by my audience, and we all, if I not allow una for call or ask una questions, then directly to Dr. Yumkela and cut the show some kind way. So I tell her, say, no, sir, 2 hours, let's go, let's do it. So I appreciate it, you know, because I like when people are game. So even before we sit down inside the talk proper, Dr. Yumkela, as we know, we celebrate the 60 years independence, we inside with 60th year. And everybody we don't grace this platform during the 60-year celebration, I get a certain set of questions why they ask them first set of questions. And my first set of questions to you is, what are your fondest memory growing up in Sierra Leone? The Sierra Leone that you grew up in, is it the Sierra Leone that you are experiencing today? And if not, what would you want to see? What Sierra Leone do you aspire to see?
Well, thank you very much. Indeed, we celebrate 60 years, 6 decades of independence, where we don't begin we will get self-rule, where we take care of ourselves. My fondest moment and plenty, but of course some of the best na the tawa in a body home na CKC from age 11 to 18. Another one, of course, we all know say we na undergraduates. Now you really they enjoy. Because that's ending you na big boss is small, but then still they forgive you when you mess up, say still na teenager, no manner. So my college days been very good. Na Jala. We get a good educational system. We be the land, you know, and we become politically conscious, but we be still damn good in a college. We suffer there also, and some of them they shaped my life. If you see me, they fight about energy issues today around the world. I've been to go college in Jalawe, something Boku ten the light and what another. So you can imagine now, would have been for no say 30 years later globally, I've been for be a global leader on energy issues or a top leader on energy policy. So my fun moments and of course, then they also go to a village, you know, go to a village, they run at the bush, go fair firewood with people there. A lot of fun memories. I don't mean sweet. You say if not the same experience now, no, far cry. We been in this school, CKC, for example, the father didn't take care of Will. We be always stand like an English prep school. You know, they play tennis, then they teach you. We father they even golf for try for get you interested in golf. You can imagine that. So we not been prepping, but we not been get blazer. By the time we reach the blazer, not been there. But still not been good school. Jala where we did it, one of the best. We like we get air conditioning. We get agriculture farm where we eat sausage on Sundays. We eat egg. And that sausage and egg now we they make it now we farm na Jala. And Jala was just fantastic. Good science education, good analytics. So by the time some of we reach American man, they say, so where did you do your undergrad? They shock with the lands in Africa because you lick in a class. So we get top professors motivated. So not to the same Salone today. Salone where they became one fit for spy. Salone where parents they help in became for spy. They know they push academic excellence. Salone where corruption they every left, right, and center. Salone where hospital not they work. I mean, and they will and say Hill Station Hospital. You know it's in a top class. You maintain and they but cannot they work well. We get the people there like Dr. Roxy Harris. Me I did in a hospital 1 month. Now they take common entrance. But we've been get surgeon specialists there. Dr. Odo Williams, Akabi Davis, Roxy Harris. I been know they all your name because they call it and they what they see there with the white. Me say one time we get matron there. Like me auntie Ashmia Daifan them. Then Fraser then Mami then you know then they wear that white na their head with the crown at the back. You they call it and when they can you can say look at them and they're all so majestic, Mrs. Yila. So those were great days where institutions they work. Salone where you get justices then like Johnny Smith then kind and we save some of we young people then from the gallows. They're in politics because then be able to stand up to the system and give judgment based on justice and human rights. So plenty in them in the work in those early days. So I feel and say, we own generation not do the same for the current generation. So a lot of fond memories in that. Yeah, go ahead.
We young generation not do the same for the current generation. I want to ask you a little bit what you mean by that. Exactly what you mean by that. You young generation, or a young generation, not do the same, not afford the same privilege, not afford the same space, not afford the same amenities to we young generation. What do you mean by that?
Well, me, I feel say there was a rapid erosion of values. You know, they tell we the papa, you mama, then go, you know, they can't house with bad results. And the same way we they not to papa, mama, no more the menu. The teacher self na like family. You know, they take care of you like say you na family. There were values, people like their job. Then believe in their oath of office. Hard work, they matter. Not to the quick gentry. So the erosion of values now the first thing we begin loss. And of course, we see some of that deeper now in the late 70s, where the slogan then begin come on, say, inside and take out on a day for it. Then say so and so, you say they be cynical. Of course, then they begin on my own term. I say, what do people mean? Hey, you they talk book too much, people then say for good fair money. So by the time now we graduate now, the kind of workforce, now then kind philosophy, then they be in the rain, say, it okay for thief, gonna be day. It okay for let you look man way lamb book, you begin laughing. So over time, then values, then they erode. And I feel say with generation contribute to that. We not push for academic excellence as we own parents and others than they want. And then turning in some communities where, you know, because some of we now applying, we grow plus Freetown. But teacher being get respect. Teacher being get respect. We being get teacher the way they take people and their host. They're not sabi use me being get teacher then and they just so like me, say this bobo smart, then they give you extra book for it. They're not fumble to you, but they just want that excellence. Say na me product they can come also. That kind carrying value system, no, the value system, we believe in hard work. Say you see that man, a sober businessman, or look the kind of business we get. Now, no. Now, na quick gentry. The man we thief more, we don't make laddie die, they show off with the money, which we call in economics conspicuous consumption. Then the battle, they say this is not sober man. They don't care how much he don't chap. Once he chap, the chap, look big. So a lot of values erode over time with we own generation. Then the politics come inside now. We instead become even more violent. And of course, state capture continued. You know, you get into power, you get gentry, and then say you sober. So we generation, we let una down small compared to the immediate post-independence generation. We've been really want to make Salone. We've been the work. I mean, not to foresee small corruption, not been there, we've been there, but not to the kind papi show now, where we they see. So some of them values, then they now believe say we not reinforce well. And then the politics really can become very divisive. And one of the most disappointing parts is we will learn book more tribalistic than the illiterate people. Because we need for play the divisive game and the regionalism, tribalism, where you not get ideas for sale. And then you find out, say, 70% of the population illiterate. So some people just don't take and say, well, if they're illiterate, so then we fence in the way they excite them. So quick fixes, as Mr. President, they call them tokenism. In the last speech, he talked about token projects and so we generation begin play them game and they on the ordinary people, the divisive games, the immediate gratification with cash for votes, buy votes raw. So the politics now can join the economics. So the economics begin, the corruption begin feed the politics need the corruption for buy the votes. Now you get this vicious cycle of political economy where person get for let be able to buy the votes for keep them power. The more it
So
is, the more
basically what you're saying, we found ourselves with all of these things going on, with all of the erosion of value, in society, paying attention to your oath of office, being ethical, being professional, knowing right from wrong, and making sure that when you take an oath of office, you stand by the code of ethics of waiting you don't take. So all of that erosion of them values and morals, then they basically, you're saying, don't bring it to the spaghetti bowl situation.
Yeah, all things now intertwine. Even worse than that, now it's on crab, they pull each other down. As you praise somebody in this country, then they begin to tell you all the bad way they know. People know they celebrate success now. They know why as they praise you, you don't get trouble. As you're successful, you don't get trouble. People even one for some way professionally, you hide your professionalism. You for play like everybody else, you for be man around. Then you're sober. Otherwise, you look odd. You look get problem. For question too much. If you just set more, let the system play. The system.
If you're working within integrity, your morals are questioned. Your loyalty is questioned.
Your sanity is also questioned. This is
your
sober.
Sanity is questioned.
Yeah, look sober. This man, look understand the system. Or it's not. Sometimes if he says still now it's man country, they talk too much. Right? They don't take it for ask question. That's how society forces you to adapt. And if you not get that fortitude and sober mind, then they make you change because you want conform, you want to like everybody, you want be acceptable, and it's not easy. Not easy.
Speaking of it's not easy, the Equitable Governance Bill, also known as the Omnibus Bill, what pushed you to say this is a bill that we need to work around? This is something that is needed at this present time. Whether you silence me, whether you push me, whether you criticize, I will make the loudest possible noise so long as I have breath. But this is something that is an absolute must.
Well, look at this way. For Rich year, it take 3 years, not so. I don't in a parliament now, 3 years. But if you look me chronology, the first bill where I focus on particularly in the so-called two-sim bill.
Yeah.
Because I see how people use two-sim for go after me and for go after others. So I've been determined, say, when me go in, because me know what's in diaspora they send. Me don't travel around the world. I don't see what in diaspora they do. 10 in the Philippines, 10% of them budget na diasporans they provide. 10%. I know the data from China, 30 billion they go in from diaspora. Pakistan, the big countries are China, Pakistan, India, Nigeria. They're amongst the top 10 where they get billions, not a million, billions of dollars where they come in. Bangladesh. I don't travel with them people there from the Gulf. Where they go home, special plane and day for just take them something and day every month for let them go 3 days back in Bangladesh, then they come back. I don't do in them flights then day. So now me on here declare to me I know data within diasporans then they do for the nations within they evolve, where they grow. So when me come at on pariah now, people go after me. As I go inside, I say no, that Lord will change it. So it not go affect other person there. Me not be mind because me come for doing. See, I know see if you run for president, you gotta do it. So if you look me chronology, already by July, August, that's where we in already by May. By July, August, I already don't get a bill ready. When me and Honorable Chairman Maju sign. When we don't care go, then don't ready for print and waste stuff. So now so it start narrowly. I say, let me begin to fix some things that are not difficult to fix. But wait till again motivate me. I did not see the president's campaign on that. So I talked to one or two of the people there. And some of them encouraged me and said, okay, doctor, go ahead quickly. Of course, other things come inside and they don't move. And people find way for stopping. So over time now, as I talk to people, I begin to say, but wait a minute, there are other low-hanging fruits. I've also been the fight of gender issues. In fact, 2013, I kind of held a big delegation with a lot of women as well, including Mrs. Sherry Blair. I bring in 2013 for International Women's Day. And even at that time, we begin push for female quota, 30%, because again of my exposure. I don't go in a country like Denmark, Rwanda, then side and day. I don't see what women are capable for doing. So I said, but this is another low-hanging fruit. And like we they talk no more 50-50. When with big sister Nimata begin, then they can't holiday. Would they go Wilkinson Road na Bamboo Huts?
Yeah.
Where we other sister didn't get.
Late so Abata Thomas, yes.
Exactly. So they dance there, they say, they will all get for joint fiction. Now saying the sister Nimata, would they be in? So I knew these things that women don't affect. So I say, all right. Sometimes instead of we send them one, because I begin test now in a parliament, and they see resistance to every idea. But then I realized the parliament's powerful. So young people, they get what I talk to them, say, doctor, can you imagine I get for resign 12 months, me a teacher, almost then they pay me 500,000, 700,000. If me resign 12 months, what are they live on? People get for sell properties for run for parliament. So I say now, fine, I been try one thing, then block them. I say, well, I don't get chance. Maybe God be one laugh fit for other things. So I add other things that make it become an omnibus. Instead of a single bill where they focus on to sin, omnibus means that you put other things and so it become a larger bill. So I add other things. In fact, I've been one do more. Now it's on the lawyer, they will help me, so other diaspora and say, Kandeh, no overload, I must focus.
Right.
So now that make we 10 years now together. I say, all right, laugh fit for all together. Now, why now? You ask the question, why now? Well, you don't see from me narrative. I try all team. I try all kind team. Talk to people, cajole, go meet powerful. All man, they say, yes, we agree for you. But I also know the resistance. And as you see, I get the letters, with a non-trained way overseas, we they do things, make sure there's a paper trail. So I write to them and say, do you help we? No, we do this, would they agree? We come out the meeting and make sure say I do a note, send them back. So then say, well, now this we agree or no, now this will get for do. July, now send this one an omnibus bill to the Attorney General. July.
Okay. Make a holiday. I want holiday small. I go make it come back just because I know that we come from a country where a lot of people don't read. Whether we dey inside Salone, whether we dey overseas, we read headlines. We're a nation that focuses on headlines and not in-depth, discoveries, unearthing, really going in and digging. Very few people read. And because I know my audience and I know how they can react sometimes, let me just give them this. And then I'll bring you in. We'll take the chronology of how you got to this point. Yeah. I will read, you'll explain, and we'll go by that. Okay. So I read.
Just a footnote. Some people they want to connect, they don't know how to connect.
I send you the link. If you check your phone, you're gonna notice say I send you a link where if you share that link there with them directly, then go just click on that link there and they connect directly to the program.
Bravo. I've just seen it.
I share the link right now. We are on 5 different platforms. I share the link of 2 of them, 3 of them, I believe. Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
Bravo! I've just sent it out.
Good. Okay, so basically the Equitable Governance Bill. The premise of it, I don't already explain. When I've been 1, diaspora voting, 2, 30% quota, 3, a leniency or an abbreviation to the length of time where somebody need for resign in work before he say, I want to declare my candidacy for something. Now, let us go into a little bit of the chronology of how this thing happened. We bring we to this point outside Dr. Kandeh Yumkela, sit down with Winayaso already, na this platform. 40,000 of us watching all over the world, 40,000 audience watching all over the world, plus why we sit on Ayaso right now. He say, he going for say, we chose to work on a few low-hanging fruits fully recognizing that other issues will be covered by the comprehensive and elaborate constitutional review process. The issues we chose do not need to wait for a referendum. Key point, the issues we chose. So waiting and the focus time, we don't need for wait till we go referendum and then waiting happen at referendum, then we go there. So we don't need for wait for constitutional review process and then take and go referendum and say, yes, we agree with this, we agree with that, or we not agree with that. Now, let's move on. He say for a referendum on a new constitution, nor do they fall under entrenched clauses of the 1991 Constitution. So what in that mean? It means for say what in they propose right now, they're not sit down inside the Constitution so much so that we're able to do nothing at all without change or fix the Constitution. Again, for say we are also strategic in choosing these issues that major political parties had promised. So remember what the open waiting I say this not because the NGC been promised more. It's seen as an opportunity because even the party where they have power plus the one that will also then self been talk about this say this not something where they want for work on as something where they want for make sure say all Sierra Leoneans think say had promised in their electoral manifesto or public pronouncements when they were canvassing for votes. And then he goes on to say, the estimated cost to set up about 30 centers in our embassies and consulates will be between 80 to 100,000 US dollars, less than the equivalent of the annual cost of sending a delegation to attend the annual UN General Assembly conference. So cost upon it, you look at the pros and cons. Look at the pros and cons. When you have the pros and the cons, sending a delegation to the UN Embassy, United Nations General Assembly, is it more important than using this money, diverting this money and ensuring that 30 centers, the most strategic or the most populated areas whose side you people then come on able get the right for exercise their franchise, which is voting. When I think about that, they go on to say, in addition, we can pass legislation to grant women and young professionals greater political participation because the relevant sections are not entrenched clauses of the 1991 Constitution. Within 3 months of arriving, we go to the woman side later. Make we talk about the diaspora votes. Now that side there will be right now. Okay. It go on for say, within 3 months of arriving in Parliament in 2018, a first bill was available. Honorable Cherno Majuba reviewed and edited it with the 4 political party leaders then listed as sponsors, namely Honorable Sidi Yaya Tunis, Honorable Chernoba, Honorable Emerson Lamina, and himself, Honorable Kandeh Yumkela. He goes on to say both Honorable Ba and himself signed the document. However, at the 11th minute, at the 11th hour, Honorable Tunis and Honorable Lamina declined for sign the document. These are the chronology, these are the facts. And when then they happen, when he said that Attorney General and Minister of Justice then, Dr. Priscilla Schwartz, had given instruction that the document should not be printed even after I provided a letter sent to Dr. Priscilla Schwartz dated July 18th, 2018. So basically, when this letter don't write, when the 2 honorable they don't sign them, the 2 decline, waiting for don't happen, then for Gazette this thing here so. But then when it reached to the first time when it reached to the gazetting stage, Honorable Kandeh Yumkela find out, say, some dabaru, some dilidale begin happen. When he investigates, Priscilla Schwartz tell and say, the letter is not going to be published. Pick it up from there, and I will continue.
You don't do a good summary. As I say, we look for things and we know say we able fix. Yeah. And we pick them carefully. When you say something entrenched in that constitution, you get for go referendum popular. We can't find out because good lawyers, I know they deal with feke lawyer. Good lawyers internally and Salone lawyers then outside. And we pick and we go check this if for change. If for change, yes, it's not too difficult. 2/3 majority. So which means you get for lobby. Now that make I be need all man. I not write a bill where I say na me one grain they make abati. No, I put phone name and I will phone have been leaders. And I lobby that I get the letters. Because we then train we overseas, say we do something, keep a paper trail. I say well we meet on this day, look me this we agree on there, they submit to you now, make you help me. So I get all them letters. I chose not for release them, but if people challenge me, I will release. So basically, then thing are not hard for me. But let's tell you also why. When I did lobby, I did talk to some people, hey, Kandeh, why you they pick this to sin business or the woman business? Just wait, Lord, change the constitution now. I say, but you know, say for change the constitution, you get for go referendum. Referendum mean election. We country so poor that every election pass somebody pay for it. I say, so if you tell me, say, I wait for the constitutional review process, first of all, it take a long time. Second of all, for let you able to make the change, you get for go referendum and you not get money. First you go big. You want tell me, say, you go big for money for referendum. You not big for money for election. I say, this is a good delay. I know the game now. I don't dare in this country. I say, law no delay. Law no end. The constitution is so complicated. People want to deal with land rights issues. Then one day you deal with other issues. I say by the time you pack all land together, the issue here then will just drown and forever then go they talk. I say long on and all not play that game there. So waiting we able to do last send them forward. If God can make the constitution, the new constitution ready now, nobody again. But let us not wait for them. And indeed 3 years don't pass. Government don't set up a committee for look at the constitution. Then get for come on with white paper. When the white paper come out, because now that son don't tell me, hey, Kandeh, you not been for rush because the white paper they come. I say, even when you count white paper, you get for right bill back.
Right.
You get for right something at 10 bill, you get for right. And look what thing don't happen. Now we they try to do electoral reform. We need about 25 bills. I say, if we wait, all thing they can pack and typical Salome is a time no day.
Right.
This one year, we all don't promise. Lord, just fix her. And the woman then said, don't fet 15 years. So now all them context then they make, we all look and say, this is not difficult to do. And we really go out, but different political parties get their own interests and then concerns. But the good news is, within government, I will tell you, within government, there are a lot of people who want to support their issues. So what me say is, there are many ways to skin a cat. While we wait for now, come me don't begin 3 years ago and I don't try for rally everybody. Let the public begin debate, all complementary. Once they begin debate, you say self now, if you do another bill, you don't gauge the mood of the people. You go.
So basically, you're trying to provide them an opportunity of gauging or knowing the pulse of the people alongside doing what they are doing.
That is one, by allowing a debate. Now that make you for Gazetta. Now that make you for Gazetta because the Gazette for let them debate. But if you know Gazette, I'm not able to put it on the table. The law very clear. Now the standing order is standing order 47. Any bill, before you care and go give them, let them we call and laying on the table, it has to be gazetted. Then one make sure say public don't read and they even get not less than 9 days. Then after that you get for Gazette a second time. Because waiting do, then one let the whole citizens see this thing where you want to go to parliament. And you can't talk but and they immediately we can call and give notice of motion or notice of a bill until then don't gazette. So if you want block person, we're not a government person, all you get for do tell the government printer, say no printer. So it's fashion.
So basically that's what Priscilla Schwartz did.
Well, I'm not going to say no, but where I go then say the Attorney General office say for stop. Now I say, but we don't go through this thing 1 week, we don't format, una don't give me receipts, everything there. No, doctor, we'll get for further instruction. Now I say, but look the letter where I write them, I tell them for review and everything. I say, you not even get right for stop. You can't stop me say, I'm not for propose a bill. You can't stop the printer. But this is where democracy is delicate. Because once they're not printer, you can't force them. Not to you, they pay them salary. Then just look at you know that, they pay me, you can't fire me. Now government, they pay me. So if somebody don't talk, say not for printer, I know they don't. This thing you even worse. The man said, doctor, I know they take this one and you hand. Because 2018, I won't get trouble. This one, where you bring so. If you're not going to age in office, to God, I know the printer. I know they take herself now you hand. So again, for protecting job, man, no force, man, not that. Just come they go back to the Attorney General. I said, well, I've been don't write you.
So many people have an option at the is this the democracy we preach of? Is this like a democracy we aspire to? We all live in foreign land. We enjoy the benefits of living in foreign land. We enjoy the benefits, the sweets where they come and live in, practicing democracy, exercising our freedom to speak, exercising our freedoms to write our council demand for certain things, them write with mayors, them propose and demand for certain changes them, and they ought to listen to it because we elected them into office to do our work, not for them to do their bidding, but for them to do our bidding. Now, they say, let us be, make we be realistic to ourselves and make we stop the hypocrisy. I don't care if you're not SLPP, I don't care if you're not APC, I don't care which political party you belong to. This is about Sierra Leone. This is about the integrity of the people of Sierra Leone. This is about the integrity of who that then will put in office. I elected you to do the right thing. I didn't elect you to suppress me. Now, here is a person who was, how you call him, voted into office as a parliamentarian. You voted him to be at the helm of policy making, at the helm of decision making, to make decisions that are right for you, that are beneficial to you. But when the laws and those who sit at the helm or at the echelon of the law decide, to make themselves demigods, these are the outcomes. When a civil servant, instead of doing the right thing, knowing the right thing, will look, an elected official and say, Papa, do you know one for lost work? Because the last time, where just no more, the work where the citizens, then taxpayer money, they pay me for do, where I try for do one, I nearly lost my job. Is this the democracy we talk about? Is this the democracy you are falsely going around the world preaching that you are enabling democracy? Is this the democracy you people are really supporting? Let us be honest to ourselves. Is this democracy? Call it what you want to call it, but please, for 1 second, do not call it democracy. Because by calling it democracy, guess what? When they spit on the word and the definition of the word itself. And I go on. In February 2019, people then go say, well, sometimes Dr. Yumkela he don't talk to just the parliamentarian in waiting and call this, that. Sometimes he not talk to the right people them what is supposed to talk to. He not talk to incumbent leaders them. He not cross the aisle to incumbent leaders them and make sure say and listen to this. The Agbagba of the Agbagbas know of this. Because if the Agbagba of the Agbagbas know of this, then something would have been done. May I caution you to say, it goes on to say, and I repeat, in February 2019, I had the opportunity to accompany the president to Dakar for the inauguration of President Macky Sall. His Excellency the President, Ali Kaba and I. So now they talk about the people that have been there at that meeting, the way they discuss, okay? It says Ali Kaba and I, discussed the bill. My letter of February 25th, 2020 to the Chief Minister, David Francis, summarized the discussion with the President. So not only did they have a discussion, a follow-up, like what you can do now. So when you get discussion with somebody, you get phone call with somebody, the next thing you want to do is that you go into an email, you summarize what you don't discuss into an email so that you not only get a verbal conversation, but you get written evidence of what you don't discuss. It sent down there to the then Chief Minister, David Francis. Silence. It go on for say Dr. Dennis Bright, Dr. Julius Spencer, Honorable Abdul Titus Kamara, and I met with the Chief Minister in 2020. Nothing not happened. It go on for say I sent the brother omnibus bill to the new Attorney General, the Minister of Justice, Attorney Brewer, in July, on July 18th, 2020. It included the amendment of Section 75A, a repeal of Section 76(1)A of the 1991 Constitution. It also included a 30% women's affirmative action provision. In the last paragraph of the letter, I suggested that the bill could be made a government bill. However, if the government was not interested, I implore the IG to have the bill gazetted for public review so that I could put the bill before Parliament on the 24th of July, 2020, before it's adjourned for recess that same week. I give it to you.
Look, all that the way you describe, so just show you the time that one spent time, because you need 2/3 majority or pass then changes here to the Constitution. So you get to be patient. I mean, people then they will blast me then they from the diaspora and other and say, hey, KKY been talking about this thing. No, they do nothing. But you can see, say, I not say anything public. Why? Because I need for cajole, I need for persuade, and I need for be patient. I go give the president credit, say he wants this. I go give the chief minister credit, say he wants this. I do about 4 meetings in State House. And each time, yes, with David Francis, we develop strategy. He was fully behind this. He wanted it. President wanted it. They prefer. You get to understand, say, the way government they work, you also get the bureaucracy there. Then one way for really do the action. Yeah, then they. Now that one did delicate, like we parliament. We now we need for tabular. We now we need for put on the agenda. So I go give them credit, say, yes, they gave time, they listened, they received the documents, we developed common strategy, waiting for do, how for get other parliamentarians on board, but we also get timelines, because we know say time was important. For example, it was very clear already, we'll begin here about NCRA verification of voters. One strategy was early last year, 2020, where we meet. I said, look, let that verification not begin, they not include diaspora. That verification, money there for already. This is the perfect opportunity for let we get in computer and they inside the embassies. So the diaspora will go verify. Then voter card. Then one way not be done register, it can register now. I said, this is the perfect opportunity. This now the numbers come up. So how much it will cost to? How many will go establish? So we went through that. And so one was very hopeful that it's just a matter of giving instructions now. That yes, where that process they began last year, by now we were able to announce, say, hey, X number of diasporans don't register, then don't verify. And let me tell you, the technology is so simple. Then same thing and the way they use for that registration and verification. Now one thing no more you get for ad for voting. And you know, dear, computer today to Unayanda na $300, $250. If you want to make an okay for this kind of basic work, you want to add more memory, okay, add another $100. So $350. I even tell people, then I say, look, to God, this thing here, if we really want to, we can drop that cost to about 50,000. Why? Some diaspora people then will say, if embassy in Washington, but me one green says they buy the computer, go put on the, because some of us do that. They send computers for people. I say, so me no say, if we do this right, because every political party wants it, then people, they say they go volunteer, donate computers na Washington, na New York, na Montreal, wherever. So then station and the fingerprint machine, they want to know the camera, then they cheap now. You buy yourself online. I say, so this is so cost effective, but it is time because I know Salone. You see, remember, say, council or election next year, March, if we keep the timetable. I know Salome and pass, you say, hey, I will be for don't do, I'm on at the time, don't. I say, no, we can't play that game. It is so easy to do this, and we take it as part of the voter registration process that NCRA is doing. Because remember, NEC, they can to NCRA for take data. From that baseline, then do other voter registration. But they mine data from the national registration system. So I wanted to make sure that it was part of that, because the Act already allows it, Section 18 of the Voters Act, that you can register them in their countries of residence. What has been missing? The equipment and the administrative process, and it is easy to do. So to give a positive spin to this, there is interest in government. The president also has interest in this. So
if there is interest in government, and if the president also has interest in it, why has it not come to effect? When the president has interest, just give me a second. When the president had interest in rewarding the football team and in giving them a plot of land, it was done within a week. Within a week, we saw the evidence. Within 3 weeks, the money, the checks, and whatever promise was given to the football players. Within a week of the win of that game, the plotted lands and everything was handed to the players. When there is a will, there is a way. So if the president is so interested in doing this, I'm sorry to say it can be done. And it should have been done, because the president has demonstrated that when he is clearly interested in something, and I can give all the evidences of such, it is done. So for me, the issue of bureaucracy and the people who should implement and the people who shouldn't implement, it's because I understand how bureaucracy works. I understand how government works. However, I also know that when the apex has decided this is what I want and this is how it should be done, and I am going to do it, it's been done.
Well, we still have 19 months, maybe 20 months. And I believe, and I maintain, and agreeing with you in a sense, that we can do this before end of year. And mobilization now, and that's why I also felt it was time, because people demanded it from me. They say, Doc, we need to see this bill now. You've talked about it last year in several interviews about an omnibus bill. That's how some of us came to know the term omnibus. So now we begin to talk about another radio show. They say, we're 10 original for low CD Steamboat. All take talk about them, but you know, they pull them, because since I've been there in delicate negotiation, but now a concern. Say time they be too. White paper get for camp, but I don't know the dates. So other people that will be don't meet, we promise me, say, okay, we'll go call you back. 7 months don't pass, they not call me. I say, before you the marriage is not rainy season done, we come back na Parliament September, then say where the schedule done full. So I felt it was time now that there's public debate. All of you who have interest, now you mobilize. Because why? I have shown you how to do it. I have shown you where the amendments can be made. And we know it is doable. And I've told you that it is cheap to do. Now you demand it. Remember, now una your country, then una they mobilize. And it is not a negative mobilization. Now that make us say, una can help Mr. President now. Because all of you can use moral suasion, positive messages to say, Mr. President, we deal with you on this one. Do you just give the instruction? And you know, we could be surprised. They get signal and say, Doc, things get for happen. And it go happen. No worry no more. I say, well, no problem. At least I don't happen and I don't set the stage. We all think come out this CRC review. So until when I will get 50 answer or 100, but we know 3 days way easy for do now. And if we want to do it, indeed, give the signal to the leader of government business na parliament, if they go lay am, una forget about me. You know, just take this, change it if you want. But you cannot say it's not doable. If you don't like this, edit her, modify her, put her in another language, or send another bill. And now in your country, now that's the bill, not so. Some people can sponsor a bill, another group sponsor another one, then sit down, then negotiate. Now then culture, then they meet the hope I go introduce na parliament. On a country, then they put names on bills.
Yeah.
Andrew and James bill on so and so. Why? They crossed the aisle. Strictly speaking, 2018, and if we don't call this the Kandeh Yumkela bill. But by the time we don't, I didn't forbid Kandeh Yumkela Tunis bill. Because why? We therefore go negotiate. Now then culture, then they we want. Governance means negotiations. Because when I see something from different perspectives, but in the interest of the people, when I modify. So if you look me draft, if you know like I tell people that, I say, look, we don't exempt already the president. You can't be dual citizen, you be president. You can't be speaker. You can't be VP. I say there are some positions, security. I say if you don't like their list, you want to add more, Adam, I don't get problem. Add more if you want. But let we negotiate. It like that time for resign. Now compromise, I do I put 6 months. So man say me say, no, lucky for be 3. Now I say no. So Monday, if you did 3 months, you go use in position for bully other people. I say me if you say midpoint now 6. Well, not a new team. Justice Kawa and Seth been don't recommend that Monday. So what I have basically done with the help of some other people that they be in this. When somebody challenged me yesterday on language, now I say, hey, the lawyer they were against, will help me do this. Then they are some of the best. Beyond that, the people that will help me put the concept together, these are professors, local and international. We say, let we help you now on the policy side for do a concept we can become a policy document. As I am so sure of the language of that building that I know even need another draftsman. But why you they send them to the AG? You they send them to the AG because they get standard formats. They said can check language because they know the institutional memory. Yeah. Then you they send them to printers because they no more get the power in this country for gazettes. Other person because somebody say, doctor, why you not be non go pay them printing company? I say, government gazette na one side and the gazette na day. And then professionals, like the first one we are sent, and they stay with you, then tell you set them, everything, then they send you, you check, you come back, they make corrections, then they send serial number for you. Because then these are professionals to do government document. But what do? You send your raw draft, they even ask you bring out on stick if you want, or then type it. Because that's their job. So I will say with own involvement now, and a very important level, all mobilize women, diasporans and others in a positive way for support Mr. Presidency, that commitment where you make now your manifesto. And that commitment where you make now UK last year, March, where you say, yes, you did move on this. We did the end user. If you want, yes, we can work ourselves. But we'll call we MP them because that's where the rubber hits the fan. It will be in Parliament. We will help you follow.
Speaking of it will be in Parliament, what's the bottleneck? What is the bottleneck? Because here I see you right. On the 10th of September 2020, I sent a letter to the Speaker of Parliament submitting the bill for gazetting. I followed up on 13th November 2020 with another letter after all efforts failed to get the bill gazetted. At the end of the second letter, I stated, after 2 years of going through the same runaround, I have to conclude that there is a deliberate and systematic attempt to prevent me from exercising my right as an MP to propose bills. For the fourth time, I am seeking your intervention to have my bill gazetted next week as provided for in the Constitution and SO 47. If it is in the Constitution, if it is in your parliamentary SOs, under what right or privileges or exercises of right is the Speaker of Parliament preventing, because that's what it seems like, or appears or alleging to be preventing the gazetting of the bill? What's the bottleneck?
Well, let's just put it that he did not help me. And as you see, I put it there in his letter to it. This is the 4th time I'm seeking your assistance. What I know he has power to do is that if a bill comes, he's the boss, he can decide to table it or not to table it. They do the same in the States. But what you cannot do, and for me, that's my issue. What you cannot do to MPs is not allow their bills to be gazetted. Even if it's the most hopeless bill, let it be gazetted and the public say you're dumb. But don't stop it. For me, that's a fundamental violation of my right. Or at least help me. If I have come to say all I need is instruction to the man to say, you have to gazette. Okay, there's no money in Parliament. I said, fine, I will pay. I will pay. No, what you can do is, that's what they sent me to one of the offices to say, well, you can talk to NGOs to help you raise money and mobilize. I said, I don't need to do that. I'll pay cash with a check because I believe in this. I don't have to ask people to help. If I don't have the money, I'll call my friends. They will pay. So don't worry, we will pay. So my point is, we have to encourage parliamentarians. And that's my wish. That with
what you're saying is that with them coming back to you saying that, oh, money not there, now that make this, that, you tell them, say, okay, money not there. Me go use me your money, pay for this. Then they say, no, go find donor then come. Go find them donor, wait the donor then come and then can pay for this. Then you tell them, say, no, I don't need the donor for pay for this. This nothing when me self or able to put hand in my pockets and pay for. Because I believe in this. I don't need a donor for campaign for this. And even with that proposition, they still have not gazetted the bill.
Yeah, look, almost page this thing. On this formatting, we may do now 1 page, not so. Mm-hmm. By the 10, they put her in that small print and waiting maximum, na 3 page, maximum. Mm-hmm. My sister then charge me $1 set. I go sign check for $1,000, pay for it. It's nothing. I don't need to go beg anybody. Some of una day, if I call una say na to sim bill, to call una, they say, Dr. Almost. If I do 1,000 copies, so we said go get. People go pay. But I was ready. But so it is not a money issue. It is simply an authorization issue. Either from the AG's office or Parliament saying, yes, he has a bill. It should be gazetted because it is my right. MPs, our first, if you look with Constitution, chapter 6, we they tell about the Parliament. We first job, not to forgo build bridge or development. Chapter 6, the very first thing we say we they do, now for make laws. You make laws with acts of Parliament, with bills. So and I mean, now that's not my job. Number 1 job, they're not right, not to say MP for go do road or development. It's not in here, anywhere in the Constitution. It is making laws, representing your people and doing oversight of government. Then number 1, the very first 2-3 subsections of section 73, now making law, the supreme law-making body. So that has to be facilitated. And what my example shows is that for as long as that pipeline is controlled, it is not easy for opposition elements to propose bills. And I believe, because now that I don't see now advanced countries. Say they see an opposition man and another person sit down because they get a common interest in an issue or then constituents they want to then write a joint bill. This is why in the United States, so other side, you see the name after them. For even show that bipartisan nature. Because of that culture we want at Salone. Say the opposition and the government, they work together. This was such a wonderful opportunity to say we all don't say we want this. We all do it. But I be also here back talk them, but go back talk them in the process. So, but I remain focused. And now I
okay. So you say you be here back talk them in the process and you remain focused. This is a fundamental for you as an MP these rights are guaranteed to you. It not mean for say the bill go pass, but waiting guaranteed to you is that the bill must be gazetted. The bill ought to be gazetted. So if the bill not a gazette, where they don't bridge your own fundamental rights, where the people them vote you for, the thing where the people then vote you for, do you they do them. But then they are preventing you from doing that. Without any constitutional rights, without any constitutional rights whatsoever. So here is what I say to the Speaker of Parliament. Don't be afraid of competition. We all know whose side you're on. We all know where you stand, but don't be afraid of a competition. And in this case, it's not a competition. In this case, it's a win-win for you, because guess what? You open up the space, you allow this to go through, people talk about it, it comes to fruition. Guess what? Your auntie members, no need for travel na Salone, go Salone, pass them, able get the money, able buy the plane tickets and go exercise and franchise na Salone, wherever they are in the world. So long as there is an opportunity created na that space, they can drive, elect na 4 hour, 5 hour, then go exercise the franchise in the name of your political party. So you see, massing this, playing politics with it, tontonam, it's not going to serve anybody's advantage here. It's not going to benefit anyone. But Dr. I want to make you clear the air. Because in an interview recently, you make a statement, and that statement there is being like interpreted in different manner. I don't want to speak for the horse, because the horse is right here and the horse can speak for itself. You say, when they ask you, say, what is the issue between you and the Speaker of Parliament? It's like for say una get issue. You say you not get an issue with the Speaker of Parliament, but you issue with them as historical, that history will show. And some people take that as you are using your personal issue that you may have with the Speaker of Parliament. You they use this bill or the non-publication of this bill as a vendetta for comeback and for expose or for denigrate the office of the Speaker of Parliament, or the intention of the Speaker or non-intention of the Speaker of Parliament. What have you to say to that? I want to make you clear the air in the most succinct, crystal manner. What do you mean by that statement? The historical evidence or history will show.
In the interview now, AYV, I mean, we spend almost 1 hour on the issue between me and the Speaker. Yeah, and in that process, I elaborate a number of sides. It was not only historical, I said we get fundamental disagreements on some issues. Yeah, and those issues, we disagree. We agree to disagree in your office or in public, and it's okay. So my point is that me not get problem with the Speaker, a personal problem. I get disagreement with them over some issues. Yeah, and those are policy issues. That's normal. I'm not a yes man for anybody. I have my own views. And so, but that has nothing to do with this bill. If you go back to my chronology, it's 3 years of working, 3 years of sending letters, 3 years of seeking help, collaborating, working with others, developing strategy. So all I ask, let it be gazetted. I mean, waiting not get for do with any personal team. If me don't go, me na MP, yeah, I don't go say, do ya, I get this bill, I want to let you help me after I don't talk to you. Look, I don't draft and finish. I don't send them to you by letter, do ya? You send me other side, I go to the clerk say where money no day, and talk to them, this staff, then will show you waiting for you. Talk to the staff, then again. I say, but I don't go through that already 2 years ago, so I know all that one day. What I need now is instruction for let them format and print and I will pay for all the copies with the kind of parliament. So I guess you and others have to help me understand, well, why would that not be done? So this has nothing to do with personal vendetta. I started working on Tusim 3 months after I got to parliament, public. And I've been talking about this omnibus bill for a year in radio interviews and so on. So this is nothing secret. I mean, if anything, now it is to give impetus. Now it is to energize and catalyze action. Because again, the benefit to government, as I say, let us assume they have their own. That's fine. Bring your own bill. Mine is also there. We negotiate. The women also are working on another bill on their own affirmative action. In fact, with some of them, we were debating strategy. Their bill is like the Uganda one, to give 2 safe seats in every district. 16 district, 32 seats. Yeah? You do the math, over 146, 22%. So now that will be discussed then. They say, so you see, me na mid-range, una they get 22%, me push for una for 30%. I say, but you go here is some other say, come on, that's timid. 30% has been around, you push for 50%. I say the advantage for you is they have to give you something, either the minimum, or they give you mine 30%, or they give you the 50%. But they cannot say it cannot be done. The good news is if they're working on a bill, there's another bill. We negotiate. The parliamentarians will discuss which one they want, or they merge language. And that's what we do when we go to the pre-legislative session in the legislative committee. We dey sit down line by line, full stop by full stop, go through. So you go look them, say, hey, but some good idea then our law other. That is the essence. But it cannot be a situation where everything way for happy for come off from government. So government will get credits. So now government no more. That is not what the democracy, and not to that the people vote for. Not to that the people vote for in 2018. They vote for 4 political parties. They even vote, say, the parliament for be controlled by the opposition because they want accountability. That's what they voted for, not to other team. Now they vote. So in this situation, only governments can bring stuff. So yes, government will can now say, we don't care what we want to see bill. Me no get problem with that. All me interested in, we solve the problem. And the day where government can with you, if they not print me own self. The day where government can with them, I will sit down back, work with them. For let it happen. What I want is the result. I want to open up the political space. So this is one battle I'm happy to fight, but it is one collaboration I want to see. That in fact, if the government comes or the women bring another bill, that we work on it so that we get it. But the point now is, this discussion now the crescendo has to go up. More people have to come in on all of these issues. So that, yes, either by end of the year or at least latest by end of this particular parliament, which is May next year, these things are in place.
Okay.
But my advice would be the earlier the better. Let 2021 not pass. Because when you pass then law then day, you need other things that now happen. You need processes for let them implement. So the more you wait, Section 18 of the 2012 Electoral Act, it clearly says they can register people in a diaspora. Why they not one? The law is there. The law is there, not to say law no day. Then they know if you require legislation. Then they require the computer. That's where we were doing the costing. Well, nobody pushed it. So for since 2012, nobody acted on it.
Okay. So basically, for me,
that's why this debate is important now.
I want for the crystal clear again that when you say historical, when you say fundamental issue, what you meant was you disagree with the Speaker on Parliament on policy issues and not personal issues. So, okay, yes. So we get a little bit of technical difficulty with Dr. Yumkela, but I should say things will be adjusted. Okay, yeah, so things are a bit adjusted now. So yeah, so disagreeing with the speaker on policy issues, that's what he meant by we get fundamental differences. I have a fundamental disagreement with him, and it is historical. It is there to show they are policy issues and not personal issues. So whatever they may have between them personally is not lumping it to policy issues and state issues and using that in this moment. It don't make that be clear. But before I open the phone lines, I want to make we go come back on this issue, and I want for me to state specifically what you want from the diaspora. Some of the things then where you require, or that is required, not you requiring, but that is required for make this thing also go work for we all. I want for cancel the 30%. Not to today, woman them don't begin to cry for the 30%, quota. I remember the Banda conference, Dr. Banda conference. I think it was in 2020, must have been 2018 or 2019, somewhere around that, focusing on that with the 50-50 woman group, then do the 50-50 woman group has always been about 50-50, and then the government come at some point that the government of President Kurma say 30%, so this ardently they work on the 30%, put policy paper out, write. I believe the year must have been 2016, if I'm not, I forget 2016, where I attended a conference. Conference was here in Ottawa, and we're talking about justice and policies and whatnot within government. And that conference was attended by the former Attorney General, Joseph Fitzgerald, and also Professor Aisha Ibrahim, Fofana Ibrahim. And I myself, was at that conference, obviously not representing anything Sierra Leone, but representing the Canadian government and things. And at that government, I've been curious and wonder why, if you don't go ahead few years before that, you don't bring, people in together for really support this bill. You don't talk to the president. The president was on board. Why did it not fail? Why did the legislation fail at that point? Because I remember the woman, them being very angry, them being very aggrieved, and they felt like it was a slap on their face for everything that they've been promised, for everything they've worked. The Attorney General failed for table the bill to the president. At the time, I believe that was the conversation. He asked them, make them go change something, then change what he asked them for. But at the end of the day, again, this is where I say, where there is a will, and now this the diaspora, and we the diaspora now for be very careful about, make people they use sweet talk and language, then they must remove, because that is exactly what happened the last time. That document could have been signed and legislated, but here we are about 5 or 6 years on, we're having the same conversation. If you don't put all that effort there together with others, what happened at that junction? Why did it fail? And why are we at this junction again?
The fact is that we never put it in Parliament. Yeah, a policy document, yes, it's a policy document, signed and launched a policy document. We get a gender policy now. We call for some of them here. That's fine. But it is not law. Law matter. Legal framework matter. So waiting me do now for put say well don't make law. Waiting before really like for do even nice say no we like waiting Uganda do then write inside the constitution. Yeah. So me not get the opportunity say constitution they change today, but at least I know say I will make amendments, because they all then talk and policy and conference. You have to come back and legislate. God make offend myself na legislation now. So what I do? And I think say the women and for glad. Say na man this time. Not so we the woman and go get out. Now a man take with topic, what on the effect for? He say, okay, well, I'll make a law panamba. Let make a bill. And it go good for let them say, well, We not like the way you make your own bill, so we didn't make other one. That's fine. Because why? We must get all these things inside our parliament day.
But they've done so in the past.
So that's the
2016, they did that. They did that. They wrote it. They took it to the Attorney General's office, Joseph, Fitzgerald, who was the Attorney General, because I vividly recall, and what to make I vividly recall is because at that particular time, he came to Canada in Ottawa. There was a conference, and I've been there part of that conference. They sit down right across from him when questions were being asked to him. And I also had the opportunity to ask him certain questions to clarify certain things. Why did he fail to, I don't know if I've been the gazetting, same issue here, but why did he fail? And if that was an issue, and if the then President Nkrumah was for it, why did he not push? That's his Attorney General. Because we are at the same junction right now.
Yeah. Again, I cannot say what went on at that time. I wasn't in the House. But what I know, whether in a Salone Parliament, Canadian Parliament, American Parliament, any Parliament, you need champions of issues. There has to be a champion within the system that says, this is a cause I'm willing to fight. This is something I'm willing to take the next level. If it has not come from the AG and others, then I take it as a private member bill. If government not bring an article, then same document, repackage, but then you run into the same problem. You still have to send it to AG and to the printers to get it gazetted. And if you don't gazette it, it cannot come to Parliament. So again, you have a good point. We tried it before, it didn't work. Now we are having the same debate. It could be there is a mindset that the culturally, there is a publication where one have to read, where then do right after the 2018 elections, barriers to entry for women in politics. Because they assess what happened in 2018, and also they interview me. You go see the Bokuvari, part of it is cultural as well. Now, issue. But that's exactly why you want women in decision-making position, because then they take the issue. Look at the numbers. Today, 18 women. There are 7 from SLPP, 7 from APC and Independent, and 1 from C4C, then 2 paramount chiefs. We get 18, out of 146. We need more. Before that, maybe 15 at the last parliament, 15 over 124. So you go see the percentage, they change much, 11, 12, 13%. So, and again, research them there. I don't talk to some other women. In fact, some gender specialists, and they send information to me now. They say, Kandeh, thank you for doing this. We'll give more information for those who want to advocate for this even more. And I know, say, just this 4 days, bells are ringing in other places. I'm privy to that now. I say, thank God. If there is anything these actions have achieved, is that now discussion is there. We just have to keep the momentum, because there's another problem here. Things begin, and then somewhere it just slides. So,
right.
Yeah,
exactly. There's somewhere it just slides. So I want to make you take a minute. If other than what we all know about the importance of having women at the decision-making table, at the helm of decision for women's issues, make we pull aside women's issues. Make we pull aside, empowerment, equity, and all of that. Why is it important as a nation? As a growing nation, as a nation, that's practicing democracy, that's nursing its democracy, why is it important to have women, and not only a representative quota of women, but, a visible presence of women within the decision-making process, within the aims of decision-making?
When you're using all your resources, human resources, the women in Boku, we need them if this nation will go forward. There are some issues that indeed get gender dimension. Agriculture and a field. In most of the food processing after we don't harvest, now women they do have. When Possibly they go India, then side and so then they design some technology.
The callers, please just give me 1 minute, make Dr. Kandeh finish in thoughts, and then I'm coming to you.
Yeah, when then they design certain technologies, then they consult them because now they get for use that technology they for processed food and so on at the food value chain. So you need them even when they design programs where you can benefit the community because some functions and then they do one. For some of them reason in academic we want then a decision making, but also the honesty. I don't see research then when they give women their money for microfinance in some countries. When you give a group of women the moral suasion of that group, then they deliver, then they pay back, then payback rate higher than men. At least we've seen that in some Asian countries and some African countries. Hopefully that will be now. If you go Kenya, you know, this M-Pesa, we don't make a lot of revolution yonder. And the woman, they're more, not a beginner. Yeah, now within a mainstream banking, it's a mainstream mobile payment system. We all, in fact, in the energy world, we try for copy waiting being M-Pesa for use and for spread renewable energy technologies now, East Africa. And that those things were all done because of the honesty of women, then commitment. But there's another dimension. Women reflective and care about reputation. In a number of cases, some studies have shown they are more concerned about corruption as well, the welfare of the future because of the kids. I don't know if it's genetic, but yes, some studies have shown that. If you want, I'll send you one that another female leader sent to me today. They say, because they do a study on Uganda. But that study, they review because Uganda gets a quota system for women. But the women can still compete for other seats in them parliament. But then get a clear, fixed one woman from every district, fixed in the constitution, but then can do more.
Okay. So make I hold your thoughts and make I go to the callers then, because the callers are anxious. I see the line they go up and up. So I will begin take the call. Scholar, and then Yusuf can get time for soak your throat small because they don't say where they talk. Caller, waiting at your name and also you they call from.
This is Linesman, Biti Mama from Canada, Toronto. Just get a question for Doc. The question for Doc today is, we all know how APC big, how SLPP big, and how they manipulate the system, and how the people in a village, all them sabi na red and green. The own direct question to Doc today, if APC make you a flag bearer, would you accept it? That guarantee day, meaning from you today, if you go accept for being a APC flag bearer. So if they continue for support you, we get to know who say we self stand, because now some of we they talk to the course on social media. So now just that one day, na me own question. And by all means necessary, the SLPP they mess up, then get for go. So do you think the way the Gambians then do for get rid of Yahya Jammeh, where they all collaborate, you feel that may make sense? Now just that is a million question to you today, Doc.
Okay, thank you very much, caller. I will take a set of questions and then I will give Dr. make the answer and then we'll take another set of questions. So, caller, waiting at your name and who say you they call from.
Hello.
Hello, caller.
Hello, Madam Matilda. Hi, Madam Matilda. Hello.
Okay, are they getting quality for your video? So maybe dull the set where you listen from, walk away from whosoever you listen so you be able to talk.
Yes, Madam Matilda. This now you call her from California. There are a few things in there out when I just want for outline where Dr. Yumkela they tell we with one lecture say president himself day in favor of in few things and we right. I want to tell you say not points then a lie. Not guy na a snake and not day in favor of what you do. Why from when you make them now 3 years this Up to now, they still not approve them. They tell me say the president they in favor. That's a big lie. The guy just to use you. That's a number one. I want to say something clear because this platform will say something clear at the table. Now that I believe. And then secondly, I want to let you know, say between you and the guy in a parliament, not guy in a criminal. I'm not afraid for say whatever thing when I want for say I'm a born Sierra Leonean and a freeborn. Okay, when he bring up now particular stuff when they may force on say now this president wants, I may call at this platform say now guy they may want for make the return get back in houses where they may seize nine and indeed that that's make a may force una for make una all agree. Let's tell you something, Mr. Dr. Yumkela, una all don't fail the nation because una all they see the truth. They una all they set una much una not agree for stand up na parliament say. Me one green I able take una all na the parliament. Please una no land for talk the truth na the country, let the country go before. All this boku English I want to make you stop them and work for the people them. Now that makes them put you. I respect you and I always they expect the big one, but when they go the wrong way, I will tell you the right thing. Now, so me go let me on for today.
Okay, thank you, caller. I go to the next caller. Caller, waiting at your name and who say you the call from.
This is Boy Jala Jamboya calling from Norway.
Okay, what you get for?
Yeah, I want to commend Dr. Kandeh Yumkela first.
Okay, I need for make you raise your voice up because we're not hearing you.
I say I want to commend Dr. Kandeh Yumkela for the effort they make. But listening to the program, I see a lot of confusion and lack of focus. The two issues, the way they deal with now, the diaspora voting rights, and the issue of gender equality, I find it difficult to see the compatibility in them. Because gender issue is a very big issue that needs a separate legislation. I am saying this because I have been elected twice in one of the most democratic countries on earth, Norway. And in my first election, I was a member of the Gender Equality Committee. I know exactly the issues that how they deal with them. And I know, say, Salone they don't ratify the convention since 1988. And since that time, no effort they not make a gender and anti-discrimination law. Because gender law, they go with anti-discrimination. And anti-discrimination gets other components that were bigger than a quota of representation in politics. Gender issue, they far beyond politics. It's a societal issue. Workplace, maternity leave, etc., etc. I'm not going to name them all now because time not there. Then when you come from the diaspora voting rights, we are looking at a situation where the very law we say dual citizenship, they discriminate against people that were born as Salone because they can't take other citizenship, but then they allow the citizens for going into politics.
Okay, so like I said, at 2 minutes all man gets. At the 2 minutes mark, we get for cut off the line and allow other people then for talk. So I will take top 5. So fourth call and one last, and then I give Dr. Yumkela time for respond. Caller waiting at your name and also you call from.
Okay, good evening. Good evening to Voice of Sierra Leone, and good evening Matilda, and good evening Honorable Yumkela. I want to commend Honorable Yumkela with this brilliant attempt, and as a feminist, a women's rights activist, the former UK 50-50 president, hearing that there is a bill being tabled gives me great pride and great joy. As much as there are challenges, and we know there is always going to be challenges because sadly, like you say, there's this cultural barrier and all kinds of barrier placed in front of women. But I think the time is now, and I'm glad that you say the president is in favor of such a conversation. And obviously, with we as women, already there's a conversation ensue in sort of starting off from Facebook, using social media for galvanized women there, because we're now demanding our place. A lot of us are in the diaspora, yes, but there are many women in Sierra Leone now calling for women leadership. I think for far too long, people have underestimated the power of women in leadership. We can lead. We only need the men to believe that we can lead. And I think this notion that the government and everybody else, including the opposition parties, are given that there is this cultural barrier, I don't want to accept that. We still do have women who have the capacity, but are not given the opportunity to be leaders in whatever field that may be. It's not just in politics, but even in industry, even in businesses. We still find the challenges because people see women as second-class citizens. So I'm impressed, and I'm also looking forward. But I would hope you would also engage with women in the diaspora and be inclusive. We want disabled women, we want older women, we want younger women, we want women from all walks of life, given the opportunity to engage, to understand what this bill is. I know sometimes, often people think many Sierra Leoneans are not educated, but I think they are. So thank you so much. I'm going to end my question there.
Okay. So I take the last question for right now and put a pause, give Dr. Yumkela some time for response. So the last question from the caller, waiting at your name and who you the call from?
Yeah, me and Francis, I call from Minnesota.
Okay, go ahead, Francis. What do you get for me?
I want to tell plenty thank you for this opportunity. The thing that interesting, the discussion that interesting, the topics then. What I want to tell Doc, in African politics, before you pass a bill, your opposition or the one that way you work with, there must be a relationship first and foremost. And you get for create that relationship there. You get for put everything aside if you want to achieve. Now the same thing that happen in America, wherever you go, the politics, there must be a relationship. If you not create an, I waste no more, you waste your time. I'll accept you or focus good, say you build good, but at the end of the day, they no say now you get for take that glory day. So you get for create that relationship first. Number two, in Africa, where you not belong to a ruling party, pass you be lucky. If you're not lucky, you not go consider you be no go pass. Then you always they consider you as an outsider. They always they consider you as an outsider. And one thing I want to make you remember, Doc, during the election time, always we don't pass between you, SLPP, APC, all and not forget anything and they still fresh now their minds. Sometimes they forget that, but it's still fresh now their minds. So for make you succeed with any other thing and that, you must get for create that relationship first. Forget about all this talking. You have to go to the drawing board. Number three, I be the expert say with all your knowledge, if you don't understand really the political landscape of Sierra Leone before you join politics. If not to Dandy, my brother, you are just going to continue to be struggling. The political landscape of Sierra Leone, where you don't understand that. If you not belong to the ruling party, my brother, now talk no more throughout. So at the end of the day, you get what belong inside there before you able to change something. If you not belong inside there with all your good agenda, with all your good idea, with all your wealth of experience, if you not belong inside there, you go be lucky for succeed. The third one or the fourth one, that gender issue. Now the
Okay, sorry, caller. Your time ran out. I think everyone touched on the gender issue, but make I give Doc some time make an answer to their sets of questions there before we move on.
Well, for the caller from California, all I can say to you is I give the president the benefit of the doubt, giving what he may know a one time. And inshallah, I must say he will push the buttons for all the issues here we will discuss come to fruition. So you're entitled to your own opinion. My own opinion is that I believe say that one time we will see how we all will work together for let it happen. We condemn we all in the parliament. Well, my brother, at least some of us are willing to stand up to be counted. Given the hell we did in this country for going to politics, we are still convinced that some of us should take the chance. And like you, I was out there, but I left and came back. It's rough, but we're trying to make a difference. And inshallah, we'll change the culture of parliament one block at a time. So our caller from Norwegia, from Norway, the Norwegian colleague, I let you experience. I mean, you don't do in legislation. Wow, somebody like you, the kind of for invite for can help we, let we even see how they do. And he's correct. Gender issues complex. Yourself a politician at one point. It depends on how you want to approach. You can decide, like how you don't say, they may not try 1998 in no work. You also don't explain the complexity of it. You say it include, it forgets an anti-discrimination law, it forgets a workplace rights issue. It's so complicated that you get a choice. You can take all for deal with them, or like in my own case, I chose to zero in on political empowerment. That's my strategy. I'm entitled to my strategy. In the debates in parliament, that's why Yusuf, when I be lawmaker, you know, others could say, well, if you want this to go through, we want to add something else. We want to separate it so that, in fact, we have a more comprehensive gender bill. What I have done is to provoke a debate, my brother, so that you can even address some of the other issues if you want. Or at least I give women the opportunity that if more of them are in that house, they can deal with the complex issues that you outlined. In Norway, like you said, when I get committees, we work on that, then develop over time. We have not had that. You said don't talk from 1998 or 1988. And you're right, it's complex. So inshallah, so hopefully you'll get involved one day and you'll help us push this. And it's work in progress. Thank you, UK, for your comments. And indeed, we'll engage more. And they're working on a gender, they have a gender policy. But now they want to have laws to give that policy teeth and entrench it in the laws of Sierra Leone. So more laws than for gender. So we pick one low-hanging fruit. As I said, this is so easy because they know they fed for them over time that I see a loophole and an opportunity we can make it happen. So it's my strategy. I hope it works. Minnesota, and the first question, I get the same tilt. Minnesota, you're right. You get to understand the ecosystem where you work. My brother, I don't there now 6 years. I didn't grown. You know, I may be dumb, but I'm not that dumb. I know the system now. You know, I have had baptism by fire, my brother. I may not agree with everything. And I don't have to agree with everything because why? We want to change systems. If you want to change systems, sometimes you got to be true to yourself. Otherwise, we all they conform. If what they say, it's so easy for La do that. For La just say, all right, me self don't join. I don't agree. Now just play the game. I refuse to do that, my brother. I agree with certain things. You've seen me. I've said constructive opposition. I have worked with the government on bills. I have joined the opposition to oppose things. That's me. That's the politics I know. That's the politics I've seen elsewhere. But we've collaborated on other issues. You know, a number of issues now, we don't collaborate. But then they were not agree with certain things. So I have to change everything just because I want to be in power? No. Some of we come for values also. So for me, some principles matter, and hopefully we'll find common ground on some issues. So if I go back to number one, I think number one take me to 2023. We get time for Guyanda, my brother. No wait first. Let us focus on the lawmaking now as an NGC leader in parliament. Make her do what is right. What you see right. Meanwhile, I have said publicly, 2023 is about strategic alliances. We have to create those alliances of progressives and then an APC, and then an SLPP. We care about the nation. Let we find where we go talk, we come together for create a better Salone. So then discussion and need to go. I will tell you, say, given situation at the country, a lot of conversations are taking place because yes, we want a better Salone, and we dey worry. Wait till we see they happen, wait till we see they come. We worried, and for let you deal with tribalism and all that thing, I fully agree with you now. We get for join hand. The question is, how will they join? For waiting will they join hand? Waiting are the values they will fight for together. And inshallah, I think say in time we will do the alignments, then strategic alliances, we will define them as we go. But the issues matter too.
Okay. So I want to add another question, Naya, so before I continue. When the flyers came out, somebody reached out to me and asked me if I can ask this question on their behalf, and I said to them, sure. It says, I'll read the full message. Hello, Matilda. I hope this message finds you well. I read KKY's write-up on the dual citizenship issue, and it seems to me that he has gotten it mixed up. He goes, dual citizenships are not, dual citizens are not prohibited from vying for office because if they were born in another country and attain Sierra Leonean citizenship, they are permitted to. Unfortunately, dual citizens who were born in Sierra Leone and attain a foreign citizenship are excluded from vying from office.
If I read the bill, the third amendment will propose now exactly that. We say, and I quote it, the Constitution of Sierra Leone 1991 is amended by the inclusion of the words, and we put in caps, including a dual citizen who acquired his Sierra Leonean citizenship by birth. You see what we do? So you were born Naya, if you don't go naturalize, yes, so they say the same thing, my brother. That's exactly what we've done. If you born Naya, but you don't go Canada, you go get dual citizenship, we'll say, why you for discriminate against them? If we're able to run for parliament. That's exactly what we've done. We've not mixed it up at all. We targeted what was discriminated against. The fact that you don't naturalize Yanda, then say, no, you can't run. Remember, I went through it specifically. So me know. So we targeted that particular area of the Constitution, which is 75A. We're very specific. Then we target another one, 76(1). We say that they'll just pull up. Because you say, once you not do a national, not even try, you disqualify. We say pull down the self-cover. Because that one they discriminate against. We were born Naya for various reasons. We get for go labor yanda, for send money back for now, for let the country change. Why you go say they're not for run? And we need their skills. We need their knowledge. So we're very specific about what was discriminatory. We'll not mix it up at all. People be one law broadening and to other things, but we focus on waiting at the issue. By the way, we even talk to people the way being right that 1991 Constitution. The one said the one good thing is when I expunge that 76(1)A. So we know what we did. As I tell you, these are good lawyers and some good, smart people.
Okay, good lawyers, good smart people. We hope this time they're working for the people who've elected them and not, for themselves and, making arrangements that will benefit them once they're in office and forgetting that, offices is not for a lifetime, or offices are not for a lifetime, and that there are other generations that, it's continuity that will come and take over and, and work through their laws there. So, I want to ask a question. So 2023 is coming up. You cannot talk about things without talking about, 2023. But however, I want to go to a recent comment where the president made a town hall where they ask and say, why make you not get a lot of female representation at your government? Why make women then, bring women then come on board? His answer to that was that they will not get capable women then inside for bring come for take on leadership. As a leader of a political party, possibly who would be the flag bearer of that political party come in a little less than a year or a year and a half to go. Do you think Sierra Leone does not have women capable to take on political offices or decision-making positions?
Of course not. Beaucoup were capable, but plenty. I don't meet there over the years. I don't meet there now. Living here now 6 years in the trenches. Beaucoup they were capable. Of course, as I said before, when I look this 2018 study that was done on the barriers, there are many barriers, some cultural. I know people then we want contest with them brother and family and tell and say, you crazy? You woman, now you want to be MP? I know that for free. Yeah, that's real. It's cultural. It's in the mindset. Why if I go try for Putin said before that kind of thing there? There's violence. Where they prevent good woman there. This thing is rough. Some of we know it we don't go through. So that's alone a barrier. Other one go begin putting self through and away for the help in picking there. Because of that violence, some good people they say, me I no one go inside. Me I no one go inside when they cost me every day, even small thing and begin cost. Because now it's also gone down to that. Now cost now, not to progress, not to policy debate. So there are real barriers. And culturally, where people they say we're certain thing anyway, now the woman for do, now the man for do. So my point is, good woman and they plenty. If we begin do some of them minor change here, more go commonado, then go be role models for others. We go say, hey, me a Gladio Matilda, if you see in a parliament today. And by the way, I don't meet young students then like that. We don't can visit parliament. When they say, I want to be an MP, I say, are you really serious? Yes, I want to be an MP. When they begin see more of those role models, they say, that's what I want to be. Then they will be asked, how do I get there? So I am convinced, Matilda, that this is a good cause. And as I said, there are many ways to skin this cat. And we need others to come in and bring other proposals. Maybe we end up having a better bill. That's the idea. That's why some of us are not scared of the debate. We want it debated. So others will say, like, waiting people in the Senate, like we friend from Norway, they say, Yumkela, if you understand, this not do. Thank you very much. Make it better. Bring something more ambitious, but then we fight for it in parliament. But you know something? I also know in public policy, hey, go for some low-hanging fruits. Because the more you begin add anti-discrimination and so on, so people then begin to say, well, there is reverse discrimination and feta. So it's not an easy way to do public policy.
So basically, they try not to be too over-ambitious, but be strategic in your demand.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. And also reaching out. The callers then write, the other guy from, I forgot which country, he writes, say, you get for reach across the aisle. Not to say I don't understand. I no say this country, one of the other problem, winner takes all. Everything at the government. Now that we want to say, no, everything not get for be the government. We not get for wait past the minister can with bill. Come on, wait till we go there for. Let we self bring bills. And that's the other debate where I want for let them take place. Oh, wait a minute. So private member motion, how many they can? Very few over the years. Very few. Trickle. So we go get more. Other people then go lobby the MP say, do you want to go try for pass law and this? If you do the good analysis, you get the right people then draft them for them. So we go get more people they can forward for bring bills, especially from the opposition as well. We not get for wait for minister or from the ruling party MPs. That's part of the issue here too. Ruling party MPs can come with bills. We can combine our efforts on environmental law, for example. We can do it. There are so many issues in this country. The other one where I don't they push, ethnic quotas. Another area I don't talk about, Andy, say no one tribe should have more than 30% of positions in government. I go one let people sit down with me. We do that kind of act today. The ethnic diversity law. The other one where I be one work on, but fortunately, NEC, they can't deal with that. Government Transition Act. Another area I talk about that. Fix the date for elections. Fix the date for handing over. So that there is also time in between to resolve election disputes. Another area I don't talk about that. When I be mentioned that last year, Boku cost nugget. Boku cost. But guess what? I talked about it anyway. Guess what? It's going to happen. NEC wants that too. Fixed dates. So it is predictable, like the United States or Ghana, November 4th or December 4th. So no president, nobody know the shift and say, hey, Lord, add 6 weeks more, Lord, add 1 more week. No. And why useful? If civil servants and professionals know the dates, they know exactly when for resign. Not so. You begin to see how these things cascade. But that is something I was also preaching about 2 years ago, Bintumani 3. I said we should have a government transition act that fix the dates of elections. I'm a stubborn policy maker too. And these are good. Observers will come for 2018 election, then self-recommender. But you know how Africa turn also pass outside that talks on team before they agree. When internal policy talk and all kinds of suspicion don't come out.
Anyways, I'll take one question and then I will go back to the phone lines, see if people and then at the phone lines for take more questions. 2023 is around the corner. It's as real as night and day. Whether we try for avoidance, whether we try for pushing at the back corner, it is coming. There's a political women's group or a women's lobbying group where they say their mission now for lobby for at least in 2023 for make sure say, you know, every political party or as many political parties them as they can get for make their second candidate, the vice president, be a woman. Are you committed to that? Is the NGC committed to that ideology that come 2023, either yourself being the flag bearer, whoever being the flag bearer, the second would be a woman?
You will, I can say this to you now, that in my last election, we had a list of women that were on the list to be running mates. Yeah. So I will tell you, say we NGC, we give that one the close consideration. We do one the last time, we will do one again 2023. We'll look at prominent women that can be running mates. So what I will say is it is under consideration. It is under consideration.
It is under consideration, but it's not an
remember, not only they say, oh, the party
it is under consideration.
I can tell you that we made a real effort the last time.
Yes, you're telling me that it's under consideration, but you're not giving me an affirmative yes.
The reason I can't do that, my party chairman will kick me out because I can't declare a policy for now. We're the chairman and the leader. Me not the parliamentary leader. So I will therefore
the chairman and leader.
Policy.
This question, Dr. Dennis Bright, I am inviting you to the seat so that you can answer the question for the people. NGC, as a political party, are you going to buy into the idea of having a woman as a second running mate? That is a question I'm throwing out there for Dr. Dennis Bright, and I will want you answer. Because right now, the parliamentary, the political leader, they say he needs to confer with you first. So because he needs to confer with you first, and you hold the answer, you hold the key to that answer, I want you here to answer that question. I will go to the callers then. Caller, waiting at your name and who say you the call from.
Yeah, hello, Mina Anthony Saisi, I call from Hong Kong. I got a few questions actually for KKY. Well, we all understand, say, KKY have been a SLPP supporter, and then he left in the form of party, and then eventually became an MP for the party way from NGC. But since first able for influence change na SLPP, and then since become an MP, which now the landmark bills and we don't really bring where you go say the one they are then they bring long-term development of the country. Then question number one. Question number two, taking into consideration question number one, the fact that the SLPP may be influence change, you don't become an MP, as far as I'm concerned, you not bring make any landmark bill yet. With now the assurance we will give people that for say if he become president, it could bring any significant change. And then question three is they talk about women. They talk say women they able to do a lot of stuff, but if in consider the most recent history across the world, first of all, the Korean former Korean president is in a prison, in a woman. The former Brazilian president also, I think, in a prison, a woman also. Then even Johnson Sirleaf, when they get the power, what he do, in border now begin to appoint for bank governors, all of those things, except a woman. So with the assurance for say we get a capable woman and a Salone, we could really bring significant change. And then also, in fact, I even forget that Hong Kong, chief executive na woman, and we all know with the massive protests will be take place in Hong Kong. So with all that kind recent history about the performance of women, them, what not the the evidence we KKY really get for say woman and go bring change in Salone. And then my fourth and final question is KKY they talk about a lot of waste and a lot of things that we're going able for Adam Column close this diversity gap. But what it in Sierra Leone, it not seem for the really take to consideration which now the with necessary contributing factors the way they lead to this significant change in diversity.
Okay, thank you very much, Kola. You don't go over
that one. Let we not make it linger too long. Wait till not like way you do. You pick 4 recent women, then we get issues in governance. You forget centuries of man. Then we don't do so much hell. It's not a fair comparison. You need to pick the one Korean woman. You take Rousseff, not even Rousseff, the lock of Nalula. Why would you do that? You forget centuries, 2,000 years of men ruling. If you want to do that list, then we go list maybe 5,000 men who then don't lock up for mistakes, for problems. That's not the issue, my brother. Don't give the implication that woman they're not able to hold, and that's not true. Most of the world, and we don't do and we man then. So I totally disagree with your analogy or by extension, which you once say. I don't do any other landmark bill yet. The ones where they try for, like each of them, you can separate them into separate bills. Each of them, if you want. Yeah, just look the hell, forget this one no more inside. So yes, the typical habit here, and this governance, now government, they bring bills. And yes, I'm on record. I've worked very hard on bills. Spending time, going line by line, being in every damn debate to get it through. So you make your contribution based on the constraints you face. Yeah, I wish I'd been there, Hong Kong or United States. That's a different ecosystem. You did foresee how they perform. Within this ecosystem, some of which just surviving is an achievement here. And keeping yourself true to yourself.
Yeah. And so, Kola, then get a women leader also in New Zealand. We do terrifically well. Recently, the German Chancellor, and then Merkel, she performed extremely well. And I can go on and on and on and on. So it's sometimes let's be careful how we cherry pick this issue. I will go to the next caller. They take 2 more calls and they close the phone line because we don't get top of the 2 hours. We want for wrap up. That's very, very great discussion. Caller, waiting at your name and also you call from.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead, caller.
I'm James Kamara. They call from Toronto, Canada. Yeah, thank you so much, Ms. Matilda, for where you bring Dr. Yumkela that is in today. They don't say what I want to talk to this man since he come out say he won't be a flag bearer in a Salone. But I get 3 questions for Auntie Dave. The first question is, we know saying I be SLPP member. Why he go form your own party? That's number 1. Number 2, if they impose a speaker in the house where he not legitimate, why he not stand up and take him in parliamentarians? Members within the parliament, they didn't walk out. Because, the man is a smart man. Dr. Yumkela is a very, very smart man. He's well-landed, he's eloquent, so things like that. And if you encourage them to happen in the first place, how you go able, they don't most land on, they don't impose a speaker na parliament where he not legitimate. Why he not stand up, say this is not for happen? Make it see if other members of parliament not go follow suit. Now the second question. The third question is, as you don't know, they quote the Constitution, 1991 Constitution. Well, me and Sierra Leone, I don't want to read the Sierra Leone Constitution, but I happened to read that last night. I read that from 11 o'clock to 4 o'clock in the morning. I stood here and I see everything is about face, it's opposite. What did happen in Salone, according to the Constitution? Dr. Yumkela, you go able to sensitize the people of Sierra Leone about the Constitution of Sierra Leone. Let everybody know his rights and what he is entitled to. Because only past university students or post-graduate students, I know the Constitution. The ordinary man don't know which is his rights. Police, they beat people in the streets and they beat Chris man there because they don't know their rights. They don't know. Why don't you sensitize these people, make them know what are the rights in the country? Now they go Salone every year. But may I tell you one thing, Dr. Yumkela, what are the rights on Facebook about what are the seen in Sierra Leone for having to go from 2013 to 2017? If I try them now, then go harass me.
Okay, thank you, caller. This will be my last call for tonight. Last call for tonight. Last call for tonight. I thank everybody we don't call so far. Caller, waiting at your name and also you the call from.
My name is Mukhtar Khaleh. I'm calling from Maryland.
Okay, waiting at
just want to thank you, Matilda, for hosting this program, and thank you, Dr. Yumkela. I have a very simple question, and the first question is, in his own opinion, what does he think about Sierra Leone progress since 2018, and how can we move forward to make sure we have a progressive country? And also, what are parliaments? Since parliament's job is to create laws and pass laws, what are they doing to help with jobs? Because the one thing I haven't heard in that country and a lot what the government talk about is how they're going to create jobs. Because when you look at the statistics, you look at a lot of people, in that country, you don't see a lot of people working. So, one thing, if you want to have, progress, you want to have a future, I think you need to create jobs. So what are laws, if you can study us and give us a few things that Parliament can do to help, pass some laws that way they can help create jobs. And also, you made a comment, Matilda, about the president saying that they don't have enough qualified women. My answer to that is, how would you know if you don't have qualified women if you don't give them a chance? It's easy to just say that we don't have qualified women when you haven't even given them a chance. So that's what I have to say. But thank you, Dr. Yumkela. I know it's very hard. A lot of people, will say things, but I know it's very hard when you're dealing with a country where there's some things that they're used to and you're trying to change. So, I'm an APC guy, but I definitely respect you, and I think what you're doing is great. It's awesome. Keep trying. Pray for patience for you guys and just keep working. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, caller. The phone lines are closed. Dr. Yumkela, I'll give you a chance to make your answer to these questions, and then I will go to my rapid fire questions, them, and close the show.
The last caller, yes, not true. We for sensitize with people about their rights. Some of we they do that. I mean, me now one of the most vocal politicians in the country. People know that. And I talk about human rights. I talk about the people and their rights for freedom of speech, for protest. And they try for leave that way, they for sure and say, yes, you can talk. But you go hear people say, they talk too much. But I have been consistently doing that. I'm on your show now. Not many of us do that. if I go back to the videos of the election of the speaker, let's see the position where I take. I think say they talk about that, but I don't know what I do. So then if I go see the video, that was my first day in Parliament. I refused for vote. Me and my colleagues then refused for vote when they bring troops into the Parliament. If there's anything, I should get credit for standing up on principle on that day. Yeah, we refused to vote. And of course, we were embarrassed. The TVs were pointed at us, but we stood our ground because, yes, we shouldn't have paramilitary in Parliament when we're voting for the speaker. So that one, there are not any problems with that. And why I formed NGC? No, well, now a group of people form NGC. We can get disagreements over constitutionality issues, values, and so on. So we decide for come together as progressive liberal people. We form another party. For give people their an opportunity. And for sure people then say you can innovate. You don't have to settle and say, oh, well, I'll not be able. No, we show you say you can do it. You can come together. Unfortunately, we get to a license or perform only 5 months before election. But we thank God, say we do them, and we demonstrate to the young people, say you can innovate. You don't have to settle for less. You can change. And it's not easy. It's never easy. But you do your best, and at least we'll go down in record that, hey, they came, they stood up for what they believed, and they formed a party. And I make it, people tell me, say, oh, I don't like this party, I don't like that party. I say, I don't complain to me. You have a freedom. The Constitution gives you right for do other things. The last caller, yes, they get point about jobs. We need jobs in this country, bad ones, still over 60% youth unemployment, very difficult problems, but it related to the general economic management. If you debt heavy, wage bill heavy, money not the day for spend on the side. And then one day again, if you go to the budget debates, you can see what I have said about things we need to do in the economy, supporting the private sector, making it easy, like our friend said. When you ship things here, you should be able to clear them within 2-3 days. They shouldn't hassle you. We call it trade facilitation. I've talked about that so much the past 3 years, but I mean, I guess it goes on deaf ears. Sometimes the people don't like the message, so they don't even want to listen to the message, even if it's good. But we all have work to do, my brother. This is our one place we call home for a long time. Not refugees in the political sense, but economic-wise. Otherwise, we would have been home. So we all have a stake, and indeed, little by little, change what you can. Waiting me no one are people with a grumble all the time. Government can with good bills, we work with them. When cybercrime can, we sit down hours. They change their language then. Today, I mean, with the wait for C now, if all wait till we change the inside the final one. But we spent hours because we know we need cybersecurity in our country. So yes, we worked with government on that and other policies. But at the same time, when I don't see what they oppose things, like Johnson, I mean, when I didn't talk about that, of all the lead politicians in this country, no other one, not a single one, has said anything about that. I chose to do it. And I made it clear, my position. And people have said, oh, but before we let the bill come, I said, no. I'm a Western-trained politician. We can talk about public policy even before you bring a bill. So we make our position clear. We are not wishy-washy. So some of us have to do that, even for the next generation. So they know there's another kind of politics. It's not just the one that is practiced here. And they aspire to be politicians, to want to go in. Because let me tell you, you can't live a vacuum, man. If you don't want to be in politics, others come in. If there's anything you can learn from, that the guy criticized, he was outside 32 years, very comfortable, but he bit the bullet, went in there, and has been there 6 years, in spite of everything. I have stood up, and I'm still here. I'll see what the future holds. If there's anything. And I bet, how many would give up what I gave up to come here? I was at the pinnacle of my career, but I chose to do it without any regrets till today. And I'm still here, and I'm happy to be here to make my little contribution. And I still have 19 months, and we'll see what else I can do.
Okay, so Dr. Yumkela, now I go to me rapid fire question, then 1 minute each for answer. The question them as I pose them as we go along. Education. When you propose education, when you said an emergency, we need to inject, our education system need an injection of emergency. What we now have, is that what you envisioned?
No. Quick answer, no.
Quick answer, no. Okay, yeah. I've been up for a little bit more with the no. How are we doing with healthcare?
A lot of problems in healthcare, decades-long problems, and they're very serious. Very serious. If you're sick in this country, pass God help you. Usai for beginning. We are basic thing that know the capability not in here. Yeah, we get a handful of psychiatrists still. The kidney section from 2018 to now. I know this because I visited the new kidney unit last week. Now 2 dialysis machine no more been in this country. And then 2 then private people get them because they get problem, but at least then they allow other people for use them if you pay 900,000 or you pay 1 million. But remember, you get to do dialysis 3 times a week. How many people able to do 3 million every week in the country if you get kidney problem? But thank God, then don't renovate. Well, they can get 5 dialysis machines. But let me tell you, it's 5 for 7 million people. Now, it rings a bell to me because when I did University of Illinois, one of the things as a student, this is way back in in the late 80s. We've been trying for let Dr. Hallow in Chicago help we forget one used dialysis machine. At that time, we had only one in the country. So you can look, it's almost as if time stood still. 30 years later, we had only 2 2018, but now we're going to have 5. They need a lot of help, but if you get problem with kidney upline, now 5 no more than a free town. No. So there are a lot of things we need to do to build capacity, and we all get for work with this, we colleague, the new minister, so let we see how we go help her. There's so many things that are not available in the medical system. I know if you want to go through, you know, I don't lost how many friends the last few weeks, bearing after bearing. I know what you will go through. My uncle self in our hospital now. So I tell you, it's a dire situation. The capabilities here for medicine, diagnosis, no problem. Some specializations, and then one doctor we get. One. And they're damn good, trying their best, but they're not enough. They're not enough. So anyway, there are efforts, but we have to do a whole lot of medical service.
A whole lot of medical service. Okay. How, when you walked into parliament, your expectation of being a parliamentarian, question, are you part of the gatekeepers? Are you an ally or are you an outlier?
Wow. It's hard to place me, but I've been an eccentric politician here, eccentric parliamentarian, because sometimes I am supporting a bill and then your real man say, hey, you don't go to the other side. A month later, you hear the hammer again in the opposition side because it's on issues. I focus on the issues. I take the issue. It's consistent with the constitution. It could be in the interest of the people. Are there some violations? It good for the long run for development. So depending on the issue, you go say, this man is there for the government or the battle government. But then you go see sometimes another issue at effect. Say, I don't agree, because this is not correct, it's not good. So for me, I have been an independent-minded politician, looking at the issues, focusing on issues, not just following straight lines, no. Because why a land book? A land book, they analyze. I get padded and two when are experts in fields. I go call them where, but good thing they were no. I go call them. I say, this they can. Waiting for I give you a recent one. The University Act last week. Quick, I don't text to colleagues. I say, hey, we're debating this. Do you have views? Because I get friends that are professors and so on. So they send it in. We do that cybercrime. I did the same. I send them to people there. I say, my friend, I know you're an expert in this field. Or to lawyers, I say, hey, we need to safeguard rights, but we need a bill that will protect us on cyber crimes and other things. You know, once you don't declare your account, they're not doing nothing. And then they do, then build and they didn't every country, but we be one protect rights. So, my dear sister, Parliament has been a mixed bag for me. Some good, some not good, but it's been a wonderful experience. That's experience I didn't have. We all feel here we know you have to be in it to see the struggles of getting public policy done, to change drafts, to work on language, to fight with colleagues on ideas. We fight in the sense of debates. And you see, you lose because you don't have numbers. You lose the debates. You go home really feeling bad, say, damn, if I just had 10 more people. You know, we have the same thinking. We go in there as a group. We could have stood our ground and maybe made a difference. So you go through those. I mean, so like me, I teach policy in America. You know, you teach public policy and policy process, but it's interesting when you're sitting in there, negotiating from a position where you don't have the numbers, trying to do things like this bill, trying to build bridges, takes a lot of patience and skills. So that brings in your diplomacy and everything, but you don't have the numbers.
Exactly.
You don't have.
How honorable are our honorables? And the idea of a hung parliament, was it a reality, a utopia, or disappointment?
It was a reality. The people voted for a hung parliament. They voted for it. No, that cannot be changed in history. The people voted for a diverse parliament, 4 political parties, and they voted for a hung parliament. That's a reality. So
have the effects.
It didn't work. It didn't work. It didn't work. It didn't work. It was truncated. So for you, the citizens and others, that's where you have to look, say, can this happen in the future? Again, can it happen in the future? 20 years from now, can somebody come in and say, well, you voted this way, but we'll change it using the judiciary and so on. These are all things or issues that you as citizens, people should not have this attitude that one man can change this whole place, only the president. No, it's all of us. If you don't demand better, you get what you get. If you don't vote right, you get what you get. If you keep quiet and say, oh, me no mix, or you do every day they criticize, you know what I have, you get what you get. Systems that do not work, arbitrary interpretation of systems or rules. Somebody decides, well, we're not going to do it this way. Oh, we're not going to debate the Auditor General's report, even though it's a constitutional requirement. But you just say, we are not going to do it because it wasn't done before. That's wrong. But if you don't demand it, it doesn't happen. So we are all in this business together. We all have to create the Sierra Leone we want. And people have to step forward. You have to be involved financially, personally. What you're doing is a good service to the people. If you have 40,000 viewers, that's fantastic. Folks like me, maybe we come monthly now. And you do what you're doing now. Look at the kinds of questions. People are challenging me. That's wonderful. That's the politics some of us wanted. A politics where we judge all, where politicians are not scared. You face the people in Facebook. They go after you. You explain your position. That's the politics I have seen. That's the kind of education some of us had, especially because some of us talk policy. You want policy dialogue. You want debate. But what you don't want is arbitrary interpretation of things because somebody feels so. When the next man will come, if they look at you bad precedent, he use them by everybody. And he say, yes, that's what they mean with things. So if you see some of us challenging the system, trying to send a bill forward, we say, we see, but if not true, waiting and saying a constitution and standing orders, say MP can do it. But what is the process he or she will go through? If there's anything, that's what people should learn from this. Oh, so then they make law. So you can make bill. We get for gazetteer. So I get for lobbying me, man. I get one good idea. Let's see by if you go push and through. And there are many things we need to do here. Some of you Lord and go to 1886.
Should Sierra Leoneans be worried? Recently, the WFP World Food Program said that 4.7 of our people are suffering from basically their food poor, food insecurity. Should we be worried?
We should be worried. We should be worried. Apart from waiting WFP say, 3 years ago, FAO said the same thing. Last year, we young people then the IGR, Institute for Governance Reform, do a joint survey with some people in Ghana and others, we then call Afrobarometer. The number one problem we they identified before COVID, March last year, was hunger in the country. They go to bed hungry. Second one, the economy. Money not there. We're not able to buy stuff. we poor. Job no day. Number 3. So you see that yes, hunger matters. Remember, a hungry man is an angry man. If you never
an
feed
hungry
family,
man is an angry man.
An angry
With that, the NGC is part of the COP, the consortium of progressive political party. Do you think the COP will achieve their goals and objectives?
I believe so. If the COP is determined enough, if the partners are committed enough, they could achieve their goals. And from what we've seen, remember, it's our party leaders who have come together to fight for some causes. And we need that in Sierra Leone. We need to reach across party lines so we can come together for solve certain problems. Because waiting being at this country now is bipolar. People want to lay you a line. Now, not to myself. Now. Then they forget the issue. Then they look the messenger no more and which party bring her. No. What COP has demonstrated that it's possible for that 13 party then come together, then begin work together. That's in a Henry Ford way do the assembly line say the first action is coming together. But you really have progress when you work together. So me feel saying an interesting development at the country. Say political parties come together, then say they want to work together. We pray that they stay together and make progress together.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kandeh Yumkela. My final word to you is you are a leader, you're a people's person, you know the doors, you know what to do, speak to your people. The omnibus bill, what do you require of the nation? In and outside. Both in and out, what do you require of them?
What I require from the people is to mobilize and support the issues. Yeah, the issues that yes, diaspora have a right to participate in our politics. That they can vote now, they can register now where they are. That's the issue. Beaucoup people they want let them famble and go nado. They want let them famble. They send money for them. Give them an opportunity for help you build your country too. Woman there. We need woman there inside power so they will solve woman their problem. Now woman then the poverty they hit more. Now then woman then they go na markets, they go sell for bring money back na house. Then get problems. They need woman then we understand them problem for law make law and program the way they benefit them because when you benefit woman, it take care of the host. Now that we know from research. Any woman we get small money, the first thing I hate, now the food for the beginner and the food for a man. Now that make one let woman can into politics. Let we open the space for them. Let we not make them afraid. Let we not say, oh, na man then no more. No, with man country, boku good thing and they win a woman politician and don't do a woman and get sorry at. So then thing and do it. And number 3, the young people then they want come inside and we need young people there. We ready for work. For inside politics. Let we not tell them, say them for resign for 12 months. No, let the man resign 6 months. He go don't prepare himself. Say he go participate in politics. Because waiting do. Then young people then get for take care of who don't hold. And then young people then they say they member and they can't work. Some of we don't tire. We don't tire. So waiting me put na this bill, you can take all together, you call you parliamentarian, say but support that in there. So then one way they inside diaspora way they not do, or you say, all right, separate them one back. They can do that too. But we want time for let them do one this year, not to next year, because time don't run. If we not change some of them thing and they by December, people go tell we say, well, we'll not be able to do one. And so we don't do for the last 30 years, we don't think they change. So me waiting me do now for like creates the awareness and do the action by designing a bill. You can make them better. Lord, we make them better. Now that make them not afraid for debater. For sake of Salone. All things Salone first. Then thing I want to put na good thing them for this country and not to me first do one. Other people they don't they talk about as Matilda say the one for the woman they incest don't fight for that 15 years ago. All me they say is beaucoup other thing and the way you do, but this one boy no hard bow. We just need 2/3 of the MP and another parliament for say we agree, low passer. And then we talk to Mr. President and say, do ya? You be the champion for WIBA for all this, Mr. President, because wait till though. even in a manifesto. And inshallah, we look forward to that. Saying say go join the fight.
Mr. President, you be the champion for this. I don't hear people and they talk say you like woman them, you they empower woman them, you they bring woman them kind side, you they do thing them for woman. Now is your opportunity to prove say indeed you are the president for the woman them. Say now like when you sit down at the international conference they wave the trumpet the woman empowerment flag. This is a time to trumpet it in action with your action. Make sure say this bill also pass. Make sure say this bill also be enacted. To you out there in the diaspora and all over, una can know what thing una can do. You know your strength, you know your power. Where some of them parliamentarians they also want for be elected, una know whose phone call and can make to una. And una can know whose side una and then can reach for make them able to do what they want for do. So in turn, not to all time when you get the call you for put you an inside. Tell us say na dismiss self once. If you want make a put me an inside. But for it all, listen, I always say when you carry that passport, the passport doesn't say you are an SLPP, it doesn't say you are an APC, it doesn't say you are an NGC. What it says, you are a Sierra Leone. So if you don't do this for anything, do it for that green passport that you carry that says you are a Sierra Leone. Give women a chance. Give the diaspora a chance to exercise their franchise. Give the youth a chance to be part of the decision making. Give everyone a chance because you don't know who that will come for can help. I want to end with this quote where they now the implementing, the diaspora voting of Sierra Leone. The quote where say, over the years, African communities originating from Mali, Senegal, Benin, Algeria, Namibia, and Mozambique, among others, granted the opportunity to vote from their new home during elections, have reinvented their ties with their countries of origin. In addition to its symbolic value, the vote, as a fundamental expression of democracy, has become a means of reaffirming and reinforcing citizenship. This major change has brought about a feeling of greater closeness to their native land by making immigrant citizens permanent stakeholders in the ongoing history of their country. The right to vote has demolished a significant portion of their psychological barrier that used to exist between them and the homeland. And then they have been from by an article we've been right 2014, quoting pages 22 and 23 from Lalupo, the writer. So please, not so we money no more, una for once. Una for once, for make we talk and make we be part of the talk and make we be part of the action. We are not competitors. We are allies. We are collaborators. We all want the same thing to advance our nation. Please do not see us as the opposition. See us as brothers and sisters, as your allies. Together, we can do this. Thank you very much, Dr. Yumkela. I tell you now all thank you. We don't watch the show. As usual, I can tell you now say, una be careful. Corona is still alive. Corona still they go around. It is not history. It is not fiction. People, they die mercifully. So please continue to protect yourself. Continue for wear una mask them. Continue for wash una hand them. Continue for maintain social distances. And please, I cannot say this enough. If you have the opportunity to, please go take your vaccines. May God bless you all. Until we meet again. Ona tata.